Sanbolan, mkhanya kude, uTedros Amlak. Angeke ngisazibonga la. I just wanted to get into this misconception that Usiko culture, our Usiko mpilo, our traditional life is biased to males, why it favors males, why culture benefits only males, and why some would think that our cultures are patriarchal in their nature. To be a male in society or in a normal society, we are bound by duty. From birth, I already have a duty to carry on my father's name. I already have a duty to bring another man's daughter into my house, and I am bound by the duty of another child's being in my father's house. I must also in turn work hard for them. If I do not, my manhood is at stake. If I do not, my children are owned by their mother's family. If I do not, other men who have done what is required of them have a right to seclude me from the normal life of society. So enkundleni nalake amadoda anokuthi ahlangane khona emkhangeleni and so forth, right? Our system was created by women, and these women understood genetics. They understood the science of blood relation. And in their understanding, they wanted to build a system that was going to be wholesome and ezokwazi ukudlulela phambili to the next generations, and for it to be self-sustaining. Okhokokazi, our great grandmothers, instituted first that every single child must go to their father's family. Every single child, with certain rituals being done, right? Every single child must have a home. So if a child does not have a father, or a father is not known, then the mother's family will take that child in. So every child must have a home. They also instituted now the structure of the home. The ndlunkulu, ikhohlo, and so forth. These systems help us to govern our relations with one another, the way the home is built. So the mother, who is the head of the undlunkulu, or is undlunkulu, the great house, she has the responsibility of being mother to all inside the homestead. And if that ndlunkulu is a ndlunkulu of a royal house, she is the mother of all the people in the nation. On top of that, because of her standing, we will then get another ruler that will come into the place. If the house is not of royal standing, ubukhulu bekhaya, the head of the clan or the head of the family, he who then inherits the keys from his father, must come from the chief wife of the father, if the father is polygamous. The institution of polygamy was formed by a woman. There are women who, because of certain genetic traits or certain rituals, family rituals, certain dispositions, they're not able to give birth. Another wife will be brought in to give birth for her. But she is also a wife here in this home. She will also come into the home of this wife so that the both of them help each other to continue this family. In the case that then your first wife has 3 children and her body is giving in, and another wife, your mothers, your grandmothers, because they're also getting old, they will need another hand that will help them in the homestead. But then also, they are the ways in which we relate with one another. If me as a man, my family is foreign in the land, I must take certain wives in this land for my blood to be solidified as one of you. And if that is not the case, it's simple for me to leave children everywhere in the village. It's simple for me for also to also break certain ritual rites and do's and don't do's in this new land that I have become a part of. To say that culture benefits men, I would say anyone who thinks that is not living with their eyes open. Because constantly, up until a man dies, a man has to work hard and deplete himself. A man has to constantly be building, exerting excess energy, exerting or fueling the pumping of ethereal blood. A man can't stop moving up until the day he dies. The lands on which we sit on, the inheritance that we get, the reason why it goes to the men is because our mothers are not from our homes. And when they leave our fathers, or when our fathers die, which is the path of all men, when our fathers leave to go to their fathers, our mothers, in some instances, bring other men into our fathers' homes. The reason why inheritance only goes to boys is that even the child of the father, who is then going to go get married into another family, cannot take the family's inheritance and go with it to another home. As much as the mother who gave birth to these children cannot live with our inheritance. She cannot put another man into our father's house. If that happens, and this is the contingency plan by the old ladies or kokokas, that a child that is born, for instance, I'm married, umfazi kamkhulu, unamluwane, asisho ukuthi sishadile, ngishone mina, I pass away, right? And she goes and has children with another man. Those children, by Nguni law, are my children, even in death, because we must have done rituals to take her out of the family as much as we did those rituals to put her into the family. So these ladies, these brilliant genius old ladies that we do not have anymore, or they are understanding, because there are old ladies everywhere, they instituted a way for these children to not find themselves in the situations that we find ourselves today, where the children of other families are brought in and disguised and clothed in the garments of this family. And when they grow up, the inheritance goes to that blood. That was a contingency plan to block that. There was also a contingency plan so that our sisters' children do not come and take our inheritance too, because our sisters' children do not belong here at home. And that I say that with the most utmost respect. They have their own fathers, though, who must lose their being for another to survive. While those ones that side on the other side of the river, they're living just fine. We will take them there and give them the opportunity to raise their own blood. If they are kekelezi, mangabe bayakekeleza, somshiye sango. Sizobuya sizobheka ukuthi ufile na, nimiyekile lapha, mangabe nimiyekile sanibophisa. Kodwa ingane yeyenu, and you have to do the right thing. A man also is not a man. A male is not a man up until certain things are done. Up until he is able to prove himself. And today, it is nonsensical for someone to say we men and culture are benefiting when your fathers are charging us exorbitant amounts of money just for you to become our wives. And many of you don't even know what it is to become a wife. So we're being charged exorbitant amounts of money by your fathers for nothing. And that is my unpopular opinion.